So before I started, I had a lot of misconceptions about hauling freight from the military. I thought you had to have hazmat. I thought you had to have a team. I thought you had to be armed. I thought you had to have the load under constant surveillance. So what I've learned after hauling DoD military freight for 6 months is that there are all those things, but you don't have to have them. If you do have them, you can haul those loads and make extra money. But if you don't have them, you can just do regular loads. And there are plenty of regular loads. But before you haul anything, you got to get DoD approved. And there's quite a few requirements. So let's go through those requirements and see if you have what it takes to become a DoD military freight hauler. Hey everybody, my name is EJ Anderson, the congressional auditor turned long haul truck blogger, also known as the happiest, kindest trucker on the road. It's my channel, White Glove Trucking, dedicated to helping you use trucking as a vehicle to live your best life. Okay, so there are a bunch of requirements for hauling Department of Defense military freight. So I broke them down into 3 categories: operational, character, and financial. Okay, so let's take a look at the first category, operational requirements. Now let's just take a look at the trucking landscape. Basically, trucking is like a gauntlet with the years just bumping them off as each year goes on. So statistics show that 4 out of 5 trucking companies fail after the first 5 years. But to even apply to haul military freight, you have to have 3 years of uninterrupted operations. Now, when you look at the numbers, the reality is really eye-opening. Out of nearly 600,000 active carriers in the USA today, only a tiny fraction, 1%, will be able to qualify for that golden ticket of hauling DoD military freight. So making that cut isn't just about getting the contract. It's about becoming the Ivy League of logistics, or the special forces of freight. Now, if having 3 years of uninterrupted operations gets you to the theater, it's having 3 years of uninterrupted insurance that's your ticket to the show. And I'll be honest, early on, I almost made a big mistake. I was about to go on a 1-month-long vacation, and I thought, I'll save this $1,200 on insurance. I'll just pause it and I'll restart it when I get back. I was like, why pay for insurance when the truck's just sitting there? But thankfully, my agent stopped me. She told me that if you get rid of your insurance, if you just pause your insurance, when you come back, that's like starting over from scratch to all the insurance companies. And I didn't know it at the time, but there was even a bigger issue. If I had just had 1 day of lapsing my insurance, then that would have started over that ticking clock that I had started to haul DoD freight. So that 1,095 day clock that I started would have gone back to 0 with just 1 day lapse of insurance. Okay, so you got your 3 years continuous operations and your 3 years continuous insurance. Okay, so those are your operational requirements. Let's move on to the character requirements. Okay, so let's take a look at the character requirements. Now, this one I think is kind of the simplest, but it might not be the easiest, especially for a bunch of outlaw truckers. So the first one is you got to have a clean truck and a clean background. Now, when you go onto a military base to either pick up or deliver, the first thing they do is search your truck. And if you have anything illegal in your truck, then because the base is on federal property, them finding anything in your truck is an arrestable offense. So the next thing is having a clean background. To get base access, they will do a up to 20-year check of your background before they give you access to the base. Next, you have to be a US citizen, first of all. And then the second thing is you have to have a real ID. Now, I've used my real ID every time and I haven't had a problem. But if I did not have that, you could still get on, but I would have had to show like a combination of passport, social security, birth certificate, TWIC card, etc. So those are your 4 character requirements. Let's move on to the financial requirements. Here's basically all the cost I paid. Okay, now the first thing I had to get was a $100,000 performance bond that cost me $2,000 to get. Now this performance bond, it covers cargo, like company bankruptcy, if I wasn't paying my drivers. So it's basically like a cargo / good behavior insurance that the military requires you to have. Okay, the second financial requirement is I actually had to increase my just normal cargo insurance that I had from $100,000 to $150,000. Now, when I did that, it was right in the middle of the year. And so that cost me $342 for that last 6 months of the year in my progressive insurance. And then the last thing in terms of financial. Now, I hired a DoD logistics sort of specialist slash consultant. Now, this wasn't absolutely necessary, but it made things a whole lot easier. She introduced me to the world of DoD freight. She helped me set up my approval, getting DoD approval. She set up the initial package of bids and tenders that are required for you to actually win the loads. So her name is Lisa, and her company is Trailhead Logistics. So I'll put her information in the description if you want to contact her and use her to get yourself set up. Well, that's about it. I think the whole approval process took about a month. There was some back and forth there, the administrative stuff you have to deal with when you're dealing with the government. Um, I am going to do another video about whether I think all this has been worth it. So look out for that next. But I hope you found this one helpful, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.